everybody. This is Jeff Veale, the business guru, coming to you in late afternoon from downtown Manila with 15 minutes of fame. And I've got an awesome guest today, right across the other side of the world in the UK. Our last guest was from the Philippines. Amazing. So we're all over the place today. But I've got a lovely lady here. Her name, it's a mouthful for me. It's Charlotte Jane Grimaldi Phillips. Right, so try saying that quickly. She's into hypnotherapy and Neuro-Lingistic programming, NLP practitioner. Her company name is Is Your Story Hypnotherapy. She's going to tell you all about that shortly. And she's a very interesting woman. I suggest you reach out and have a chat to her because you don't know what you don't know. And I'm sure she's up for a chat, a cup of tea in her case, or a cup of coffee. Years in the business. She's been a few years in the business now with a brief description. With What Your Story Hypnotherapy, you can take control, invest in yourself, empower your life by rewriting your story to make the changes in your life that you want to achieve. By using hypnotherapy and neuro-lingistic programming, NLP techniques, Charlotte can help you make the changes in your life that you want to achieve, like overcoming anxiety, phobias, fears, procrastination. I'm laughing. I joined a procrastination group back in November, and I haven't had the first meeting yet, so we're still waiting. And then things like confidence in your driving, your swimming, your exam. We all need confidence, guys. Speaking skills and more, and self-esteem. And there's a lot more there, guys. There's pages of this stuff here. Key achievements or projects. Bringing hypnotherapy into Lloyd's banking group in the last year. Listen to this, guys. She had approximately 1,400 banking UK employees attend 40 of her group hypnotherapy and NLP workshops face-to-face and online. How cool is that? Topics ranging from stress, confidence, sleep, holidays, vacation for some, to changing their environment. 95% increase in their relaxation, and said they recommend the session. I get asked regularly to speak to teams around the business on well-being. One in 5 UK workers report feeling unable to manage stress, and I would have thought it'd be higher than that, in fact. But there's a lot more here I can tell you about this lovely lady, but she's going to tell you herself in a moment. And when you think you can't, you can. Let's rewrite your story to a story that works for you. That's important, guys. Personal motto, we've heard that. I've been an extra actor in 3 period drama movies. Wow. Sense and Sensibility. I have to go back and have a look. The Burrows, and I was going to say To Kill a Mockingbird. There it is. A different line. To Kill a King. Right. Interesting. Very, very interesting. That's my great pleasure to welcome to the stage today, Charlotte. How are you, Charlotte?
Very good, thank you, Jeff.
You're looking good. It's only early in the morning for you. That's why you're looking so fresh. Tell us about your journey and what inspired you to pursue your current career path. How did it all come about?
Yeah, and I've always wanted to help people, and through hypnotherapy, I've been following 𝐂𝐚𝐬𝐴DAM, who I ended up training with. I've been following him for a few years, and then all of a sudden there was an opportunity. My children were older, and so I took that opportunity that I could give up a year of my weekends to study while I worked full time in another job, and I'm so glad I did, because with hypnotherapy, it's about bypassing the thoughts that keep invading us. So when you're thinking about doing something, you might have another thought that's telling you not to or holding you back. Yeah, and hypnotherapy helps bypass that. It's a bit like daydreaming, the experiences.
Yes.
And to be able to learn these skills, the tools of your mind, and having control of your mind, and being able to share these tools with people. Because often I might hear somebody say, "Oh, my thoughts aren't my own," and I think, well, whose are they? Who's in your head?
You got a boy in there not paying rent.
Yeah, exactly. And if it's not a thought, and if it's a thought that doesn't serve you, like you're replaying an old drama that happened years ago, why are you replaying it in your mind? And it's helping somebody understand that and get them to stop replaying the thoughts that don't work for them.
Back into the present,
Yeah. So it was really, really interesting, and you never stop learning. There's always skills that you can add to it, different things that people present you with. So like when I'm with a client, say one-to-one, sometimes things that you've been doing really well with other people won't work because we're all unique. And
Correct.
so then I adapt to the, you know, to the client. So it might be that if they find it really uncomfortable to close their eyes because they're quite fit, you know, in a fearful state, how can I really get them at ease? So sometimes I might get a piece of paper and a pencil and I get them to draw how they're feeling, or, you know, just sketch, because then you're breaking down, and it's just by thinking about things differently.
Getting it out of their head onto paper. I like that. What's been the most challenging aspect of your work, and how have you overcome that?
Most challenging aspect was I went to, like, it's called the Healing Festival in the UK 3 years ago, and it's an event where there's all types of healing there, and I just signed up for it, not ever being there and not realizing that people would actually expect hypnotherapy on the stand in a busy environment. I just thought I'd be there promoting self-awareness and things like that.
Handing out flyers or something.
Yeah, yeah, and just talking like I am with you about
Sure.
it, you know, raising awareness. And so when I got there, I realised that I'd been put in the therapy tent, and so there's people there with Reiki, all you know, everything, and it was fine. But I was thinking, wow, I'm up for doing hypnotherapy on the stand, but you've got to be so careful of what it is they're asking. And usually, if somebody's coming to see you, that you'd have a bit of background about them.
Yes.
But yeah, and it's donation only, so people could pay whatever they, which is brilliant because it means that therapy is affordable for all. And straight away, I have people come and say, "Yeah, no, I want to sit down. Give me it." And some of, you know, so some of the topics that they were giving me were very, very, um, you know, like somebody's been raped,
Yes.
somebody's been bullied, all of these things straight away. But it was amazing because of my knowledge and my experience, I was able in like half an hour, 45 minutes to ascertain exactly what help they needed
Yes.
and turn that into a story. And, you know, and you could see the changes
I love it.
absolutely straight away. And so it was like a biggest challenge because you never knew who was going to sit down in front of you and what they'll present you with. And also, it was a great learning curve for me to be able to, it made install more confidence in my skills and how to react and help people.
Oh, yeah, but literally on the spot, right?
Yeah,
What I love and tell people is you can't control it. The past is the past, right? Learn from it. You can't control the past, and yeah, you got no idea what you can do in the future either. I tell people, think about the future, but live in the presence, right? Live in the present moment. That's what's important. Is right now, right? And then think about tomorrow. Think about the next. Plan a bit, but live in the present. The past is gone. You can't just learn from it. You can't do anything about the past. So like you say, get rid of it. Move on.
yeah,
Tell us about an important moment in your career that changed your direction where you're heading.
totally. So you alluded to it earlier with my introduction about doing group events at Lloyd's. So
Yes.
at the time, I was still working full time at Lloyd's
Yes.
as an employee, and I was, you know, a wellbeing advocate on the side. You do lots of jobs off the side of your desk, you know, to help
Get it.
challenge and that help colleagues and stuff. And one of the things they were asking were, has anybody got any skills outside of their day job that they can bring in to help colleagues? And so
Yes.
I offered group hypnotherapy sessions,
Uh-huh.
and they had some internal wellbeing festivals within their buildings. And now there's a lot of employees at Lloyd's Banking Group,
Sounds
and
like
yeah, that was there's 64,000,
wow.
and
Wow.
and yeah, and they've got offices all over UK, and they've got brands like Scottish Widows, Halifax, you know, Clerical
Yes.
Medals, so massive. And so in a year, I've had 1,400 Lloyd's employees attend my group events.
That's
So I
an awesome
started off.
achievement. Well done.
Thank you, thank you. And the other thing is, I didn't hide the word hypnotherapy like some of my hypnotherapy colleagues do. They just call it well-being. I just said it's group hypnotherapy. You know, they have like a 𝐰𝐢𝐭𝐡, so social media for the office. And so I
Yes.
set up a panel, and every fortnight free half an hour group hypnotherapy session that I just pick topics to work on to help colleagues, as well as get asked to go to different business meetings to talk about change and how we can adapt with change and things like that.
Well, it's a good subject. So you're talking about life, aren't you? You know, it's always, life's always interesting, right? Bit of science.
Yeah, because what we don't realise is that we can become our job. So if you're working in financial services, you can be quite risk averse.
Yes.
And so then if you're risk averse in your day job, that's brilliant, but you don't always necessarily need to be risk averse in everything. Otherwise you won't cross the road.
Do you? Got to get to the other side, you know. And I tell people, you know, there's always a risk in everything we do. Tell me, in your opinion, what are the key qualities or skills? You're obviously an awesome communicator, but what are the key qualities and skills that have contributed to your success?
It's listening. Is definitely listening,
Good
reading body language. Yeah, because if somebody's got their eyes closed and you're giving them the suggestions to help them make that change the desire, you want to be able to recognize any movements in their face and their hands. Are they comfortable? Because if they're like this and that, they're not comfortable, and you might want to stop and reassure them, ask them what's going on in their mind, things like that. So you want to be recognizing all the cues, things, but definitely listening, because if I'm talking to you in a language, like using words that won't resonate with you, then it's not. Then when I'm talking to you in hypnotherapy, it's not going to work so well, you know. So I want to listen to how you speak and what words you'll be saying, what goal it is, what your achievements are. And if you tell me what you're doing in your you know, your day job, then I can embed a reality, you know, a real life
story.
Yeah, like visualization, so that you can really put it all together.
I get it. It'd be different, like if you're talking to a doctor, like a real professional, for example, versus a guy who's in a Harley Davidson motorbike gang. You know, they're different people, different subjects, different mannerisms, the whole 9 yards, right? Totally different.
Absolutely, and it's, you know, and the language is important so that it resonates with us. Because if you're in, I mean, I've had it even when I've got it right, and so I just change it. So it might be in a strange garden, because if you just say in your garden, I don't know what their garden's like, and if I say it's got a pond and it hasn't got a pond, all those kind of things, you could break their thoughts of getting into the vision. They go, but I haven't got a pond. What are you doing here? You know, so. Yeah,
they start to cry because their goldfish died years ago.
there's, I mean, I always do suggestibilities to warm people up before we actually do the real work, so that I can read their face, how they respond to language and that. And one of them is slice of lemon. It's a hot day, and all the suggestions for how thirsty you are. And so, you know, you walk them around their kitchen. So you open the fridge, and I always do close the fridge, you know. And what happened was, one client, she said, I'm so glad you closed the fridge, because the other day I left it open. And when in my head, I was going straight back to all my food going off. And it's all those things, you just don't know what's in somebody's mind.
Very interesting. You haven't got a job, you've got a passion, and it shows. It's awesome. Tell me, how do you stay motivated and continue to innovate in your field?
By talking to people all the time. So whether I'm networking or just doing videos online where I share hints and tips, you know, things that they can do. Like a good one that I share is I am calm, and that's where you focus on your breathing, and on the in breath, on the in breath you're saying I am, and on the out breath calm. So if you're not in a you're a bit anxious or a bit stressed, by just thinking about the word calm and focusing on your breathing, you can bring yourself into a neutral state. So sharing information like that, just, you know, writing about things. I go to lots of fairs as well to give talks about hypnotherapy and how it can help.
Breathing is very, very important. Underrated skill, isn't it? That breathing exercise. It's very underrated.
Yeah, and it brings the focus back to you, because a lot of us look externally for validation or for somebody else to tell us how we're feeling. You know, if somebody goes to the doctor they'll just assume that the doctor knows everything about them, but that doctor's either only studied a little bit about everything, which
Correct.
isn't great, or
That's
just
right.
specialised in one subject. And the only person who knows your body the best is you.
That's right. And I go back to my new one for the last couple of years. It's been, I used to ignore it, is the gut feeling. When you get this gut feeling all the time, you should follow it, because it's quite often, it's a second brain. It's quite often right. You say, oh, I got a gut feeling, I don't like this person. And invariably, they turn out to be a bad person, But you had the feeling in the first place, but you chose to ignore it. So listen to your gut, guys. It's all about feelings, right? Very much so.
Absolutely, your intuition. Yeah.
Tell us about a recent project, or well, obviously the Lloyd, you won't be able to top the Lloyd's one, but tell us a recent project or achievement you're particularly proud of.
I'm running sleep research at the moment. So I've got it's a free program that people can join, and why I'm really proud of it is the results I'm getting. So that people that
Fantastic.
haven't had, yeah, so they might, a lot of people as they're getting older, and I'm not talking like that much older, they might be in their
Sure.
30s or 40s, and they've started not sleeping continuously through the night.
Yes.
And it could be that they've had children, and now the children are older, but they still haven't gone back to their sleeping patterns.
Yes.
Um, and so by listening to hypnotherapy audio that I've put together with the suggestions, they've been able to have a good night's sleep continuously through the night. I
Awesome.
mean, yeah, and there's other things like I've created a sleep tube map, so that there's all these points in your in your sleep routine that you could change to get a better night's sleep,
Sure.
just even without the hypnotherapy. Things
Yeah,
like,
a lot of it's common sense. I mean, you wouldn't have a big cup of coffee 10 minutes before you go to bed, you know, et cetera, or a big
yeah,
meal, all that sort of stuff. So it's good. It's good that you put these people on the right track.
yeah, no, thanks. The biggest takeaway that people have said to me about on it is when I use the suggestions of sleep like a child, because you had a routine when you're a child, and now you're an
Absolutely.
adult.
Yeah,
You're
great.
like, nobody's telling me to go to bed when I'm going to bed. I go to bed when I want. I'll do what I want when I want. I'll watch TV. And it's all of those things it's about, but you didn't do that as a
Yeah,
child.
and I tell people, leave your mobile phone in the lounge. Don't take your mobile phone into the bedroom ever, right?
Exactly.
The bedroom's for sex and sleep. That's all. Nothing else.
Yeah.
It's not for mobile phones, right?
That, and we're talking the same language there. That is exactly what I say. And when I do polls in like group scenarios of how many people are using their phones at night time and in the morning,
Sure.
it's like 75% of
I
the
would have thought it would have
audience.
been higher.
Well,
You want to ask them how many people use their phone on the toilet? That'd be probably another 50%.
yeah. No,
They can't help
totally.
themselves. It's amazing these days when you go to a restaurant, isn't it? You go to a restaurant, you're taking your girl out for a date night. You go to a restaurant, you look around. There's 100 people. I swear, 90% of them the two partners are on the phone, texting or doing stuff. The meal's getting cold. Then they want to take photographs of the meal. Then they want to send it back because it went cold. All the above. You know.
Yeah, that's it. So they're being reactive rather than proactive on their actions.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. Tell me, what advice would you give someone who was aspiring to sort of follow in your footsteps and go down the same track that you're on, same journey?
I- I'd say like do some reading so that you know what type of hypnotherapy you want to get involved with, and obviously research who you're going to train with.
Yes,
Um, I mean, I followed 𝐼𝐸𝐴𝐵, who I trained with, and he's at the top of his game in the UK,
sure.
runs the UK Hypnosis Convention. So I liked the way he spoke, and the fact they had so much experience, which is really good, and is constantly doing research, because if somebody's constantly evolving, they're really passionate about what they're doing, and they're making sure that the industry is always getting refreshed and promoted and things like that, because the medical profession, in the UK, the NHS does recommend hypnotherapy,
Awesome.
but yeah, but there can be some doctors that are still poo-poo it and think of it more like a magic show.
Yeah, woo woo.
um,
Yeah,
yeah, right. And there was so much evidence, that how So if anybody goes on like PubMed or Google Scholar, they can find out, has
Yeah.
hypnotherapy helped this? What's the research on this? And they're all the
I
things.
think it's common sense, because what you're doing, you're unpacking people's problems. They've got a whole cupboard full of stuff, in their head, and you're unpacking it all basically, and going and say, why is that bothering you, right? Et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, so it's definitely helping. It's therapy, and it is the true
Yeah,
word. It's therapy. Really is therapy.
it is. It
And
is.
a lot of people need it.
Yeah, and our minds can be like computer files. So if we've not housed things properly as things have happened, we just need to refile them. And by rewriting that story, it helps refile those, and with a different label. So instead of
Yes.
that was really upsetting, I need to keep replaying that. It's like, think of a happy scenario, or how
Mm.
would you like the outcome to be better?
Yeah,
You know,
the mind's so powerful. I got a saying that I often hate it. I tell people, if I give it to you, you're going to hate me. And the saying is, do it now. What happens? I'm sitting down doing something, and a little thought pops in, oh, you should into the rubbish bin. I go, oh, yeah, I'll do it later. And the little boy says, no, do it now. So I get up and do it. But I accomplish so much more just with that one thought in my head. That do it. If it pops into my head, water the plants. Go and water the plants. It's done. You know.
absolutely. Otherwise, you're carrying that thought around for a long time, or it goes
Oh
on a
yes, I feel
list.
guilty, because then I go, oh, I still haven't done those plants. It's sort of like it's bugging me. So if you just get up, spend 5 minutes, get up and do it, it's done, and you move on to the next thing.
And you've got more space in your head to think
Yeah,
about something
that's right.
else.
Yeah, I got a lot of space in my head, I can tell you. Looking ahead, what are your goals and aspirations for the future?
My goals and aspirations are to turn that sleep research
Mm,
into a report and to share the findings. Because if you can nail your sleep, it helps with so
so
many
important.
things
Yeah.
like diseases, losing weight,
Yes.
just so many things. It's like the basis. Also, um, like bring together like training courses for how other people can do group events, because there's
Yes.
not a lot of hypnotherapy, so that they can bring it into the workplace so that employees can experience, group hypnotherapy and get that sort of calm and have tools that they can take away to use daily. So I've
Yeah.
got quite a few things I want to do and
It's
get
an
more
awesome,
speaking
awesome
gigs.
challenge. And like I say, you've got some programs for different people, even not the big, even the lawyers with their big groups, even the smaller groups, smaller companies of 10, 20 people.
Yeah,
I'm sure that a lot of them would be very, very interested. So I think you're on, you're definitely on a winner. You're on the right path, 100%. And I tell people like yourself, and you know this already, if you want some help, like Charlotte's done, get a mentor, guys. You'll cut years off the journey. Charlotte, she got a mentor, and that's where she learnt a lot of what she's doing. Then she's got a, but doesn't just follow it like blindly. She researches and does her own thing as well, and you can branch off from that. But get a mentor to show you the right direction at least. Right. Tell us, tell our listeners, what's the best way to reach out and find out more about your wonderful programs?
yeah, the best way to reach out to me is email me at charlotte at whatisyourstoryhypnotherapy.co.uk. You can go to my website, which is whatisyourstoryhypnotherapy.co.uk, and there's a contact form on there. You can call me. I'm on the UK, so that's +44, and then it's 07956 144 239, and all my details are on there. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn, and they're all under What Is Your Story Hypnotherapy.
Great name. Guys, we'll be putting all Charlotte's details right across social media. It's like the same as what we can do for you if you want to come on 15 Minutes of Fame. So we'll be putting her across Snapchat, Quora, Reddit, um, LinkedIn, Facebook groups, and of course, YouTube. We will see all this, guys.
Oh,
And you'll be able to even play the replay. If you miss something, just press a button and go back and listen carefully. And Charlotte, she sets up for a chat and ask her about her wonderful free offer. And it's very, very kind of you with that, Charlotte. Um,
thank you.
Before we wrap this up, tell us a fun fact about yourself that most people don't know.
A fun fact about myself is that I've been in 3 movies. So that's Sense and Sensibility, The Borrowers, and To Kill a King. And
What was your role in most of those movies? What did you do?
I was an extra, so I got to wear lots of glamorous clothes. So period drama,
Lovely.
because I've got long hair. And it used to be a bit more strawberry blonde. As I got older, it's got blonder and blonder.
Yeah,
But,
sure. More
yeah,
natural now. Natural blonde now.
yeah. So I've always been natural.
Yeah.
Yeah. And and I worked at the Shepperton Film Studios one summer before I was an extra in a film, and then I was studying fashion. And while I was studying fashion down in Salisbury, they were actually filming down here. And one of the drivers of Emma Thompson
Oh,
yeah, that I knew said, "Oh, Charlotte, you should go for the role." So I did a screen test, and they said, "Yeah, you know." So I didn't have an agency or anything. It's just who you
nice.
know kind of scenario. But
Yeah,
you still have to do or you still have to be appropriate. So it's not like a win-win.
sure.
Yeah, and then Wilton House in Salisbury area in Wiltshire, it's a lovely venue, and that's where they've done lots of filming there. And so I had a ball gown, and I was on
Oh,
the opening scene. So Emma Thompson, I move, and then Emma Thompson moves just in the ballroom scene. But you don't see me; you just see the back of me. And she stepped on my back of my dress, so they had to do a retake. And in that moment, she was like, "Posture, posture, darling. Up, backs, backstroke." And then Greg Wise is on the film. And oh gosh, I've forgotten the other lady's name. The other actress who was in Titanic. What's her name?
Kate Winslet.
That's it. Yeah, she was in it. And
Lovely.
Greg Wise was chatting to me, and it was when somebody looks at you as if you've reminded them of somebody. So
Yes.
yeah, and I did a week of shoots. It was all night shoots, and I was at college, as I said, at the time, so I had to get time off college, which I weren't happy about. And then I got a phone call, and this is before mobile phones, because it was like 1995.
Yes.
As in, you're a student, you're not going to have a mobile phone. And I had a phone call in the house phone, and they just said, "Oh, could you come and double for Kate Winslet?" And I didn't drive, and I didn't get any more time off college. And I said, "Well, I'd love to if you can get me a lift." And I never heard anything again. But she really did hurt her ankle in that film, and what they
Oh,
wanted me to do is run down the hill and do back shots.
all right.
So yeah, that was that one. And then the borrow was because I had red hair, but it wasn't red enough for them. And we were multiplied by hundreds, so I was running up in the shelves
Yeah.
and that was filmed at Shepperton Film Studios. And then
Sounds like you had a lot of fun during that era.
yeah,
But
yeah,
you found your home now. You found your real passion, right?
absolutely, yeah, definitely. And I mean, with hypnotherapy, I do dress up for it, and not in a weird way. But if somebody's doing a virtual a virtual
You
gastric
don't put a cone on
band,
your head, do you? Not a cone like a witch's cone. No, just kidding.
no, no, but I go that extra mile for people. So where
Lovely.
so where it's like a virtual surgery for gastric band, I've got some scrubs that I wear,
Oh,
and
lovely.
so that really embodies the whole
That's
experience.
pretty cool. Yeah, you take it super seriously. I'm proud of you. You're doing very well. All right,
Thank you.
gonna wrap it up now. So, guys, if you want your 15 minutes of fame, and look, please like and subscribe to this channel. You're going to meet lots of interesting guests, just like Charlotte, from all over the world. And every man and woman's got a story, guys. We'd love to hear your story. So come on and get your 15 minutes of fame. We'll put you across all the social media channels and put you in front of potentially thousands of people. So why not reach out and let's have a chat. Thanks for being a guest on the show today, Charlotte. It's been awesome.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been lovely.